Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what's really out there, beyond what our eyes can see? For most of human history, that was a question we could only answer with stories and speculation. But then, in 1990, something incredible happened. Humanity launched a giant eye into orbit, the Hubble Space Telescope. For over 3 decades, Hubble has been our window to the cosmos. It's made more than 1.7 million observations, peering into the hearts of stellar nurseries like the famous Pillars of Creation in the Eagle Nebula. It's given us breathtaking views of distant galaxies colliding and dying stars shedding their layers like cosmic butterflies. The data it has collected has fueled nearly 21,000 scientific papers, fundamentally rewriting our astronomy textbooks. But among all these spectacular achievements, one project stands out. One set of images that didn't just add to our knowledge, but completely revolutionized our entire concept of the universe. I'm talking about the Hubble Deep Field. The story begins in 1995. The then director of the Space Telescope Science Institute, Robert Williams, had a radical idea. He wanted to use a significant chunk of Hubble's precious observation time, a full 10 days, to stare at a completely empty, dark, and seemingly uninteresting patch of sky. This spot, near the handle of the Big Dipper, was tiny, about the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length. Think about that for a second. Many astronomers thought it was a huge waste of an invaluable resource. Why point our most powerful telescope at nothing? There were so many known stars, nebulae, and galaxies to study. Why gamble on the void? But Williams was betting on a hunch. He believed that if Hubble stared long enough with enough sensitivity, this patch of nothing would reveal something extraordinary. He was willing to stake his career on it. So, for 10 consecutive days in December 1995, Hubble locked its gaze. It orbited the Earth about 150 times, collecting faint photons of light that had traveled for billions of years across the expanding universe. Each orbit, the shutter would open, gathering more and more ancient light from this one tiny speck of darkness. The team waited with bated breath. What would they find? A few faint stars? Or just blackness? When the final image was assembled, the result was mind-blowing. It wasn't empty at all. The image was filled, wall to wall, with light. But not the light of stars. It was the light of galaxies, nearly 3,000 of them. Each pinpoint, each fuzzy smudge was an entire galaxy, a city of billions of stars just like our own Milky Way. Some were beautiful, majestic spirals like our own. Others were messy, irregular blobs caught in the act of forming or colliding. They were all there, crammed into a patch of sky that we once thought was empty. This single image, the Hubble Deep Field, was a profound revelation. It showed us that the universe is not just vast, but it's also incredibly dense with galaxies. Wherever we look, no matter how empty it seems, the cosmos is teeming with them. Suddenly, our estimates for the number of galaxies in the observable universe had to be revised, jumping from around 10 billion to over 100 billion. It was like discovering that the handful of villages you knew about were actually part of a world packed with sprawling megacities. What made the deep field so scientifically valuable was that it was also a time machine. Because light takes time to travel, looking at distant objects is like looking back in time. The faintest, reddest galaxies in the image were some of the youngest ever seen, existing when the universe was just a fraction of its current age. Astronomers could now see galaxies in all their different stages of evolution, from their chaotic infant states to the more mature, structured galaxies we see nearby. It was like having a family photo album of the entire universe, showing us what galaxies looked like as toddlers, teenagers, and adults. The success of the 1995 Deep Field was so monumental that the project was repeated. In 1998, Hubble pointed at a different patch of empty sky, this time in the southern hemisphere, creating the Hubble Deep Field South. The result? The same thing, a tapestry woven with thousands of galaxies. This confirmed that the first deep field wasn't a fluke. The universe is truly isotropic, meaning it looks pretty much the same in every direction on the largest scales. But they didn't stop there. With upgrades to its cameras, Hubble went even deeper. In 2004, they created the Hubble Ultra Deep Field, a 1,000,000-second-long exposure that revealed around 10,000 galaxies. And then, in 2012, came the Extreme Deep Field, or XDF. By combining over a decade's worth of observations, this image pushed even further back in time, showing us galaxies that existed when the universe was only about 450 million years old, a mere toddler in cosmic terms. The Hubble Deep Fields fundamentally changed our place in the universe. They provided the strongest visual evidence yet that our galaxy, our star, and our planet are not special. We are part of a cosmic ocean that contains, by current estimates, perhaps 2 trillion galaxies. 2 trillion. Take a moment to let that number sink in. For every single person on Earth, there are over 250 galaxies out there in the observable universe. These images are more than just pretty pictures. They are a source of deep philosophical wonder. They force us to confront the sheer scale of reality. Each one of those distant lights represents a place with billions, or even trillions, of its own stars. And around those stars, there could be countless planets. It's an invitation to humility and to awe. The legacy of the Hubble Deep Field continues today with its successor, the James Webb Space Telescope. With its powerful infrared vision, Webb is peering even further back, to the very first glimmers of light after the Big Bang, building upon the foundation that Hubble so brilliantly laid. So the next time you look up at the night sky, remember the Hubble Deep Field. Remember that even in the darkest, most unassuming corners, the universe has packed an incredible, breathtaking spectacle, just waiting for a curious eye to look long enough and deep enough to see it. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey to the edge of space and time. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories about our amazing universe. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Hubble image is. Until next time, keep looking up.